Okay, this is the first scramble. Tom gets a 937, so he's going to start here with red front and or white front, red top, and then he does like U2, R prime, F while rotating up, D, R2, F, R2. Tom could have potentially saved a move here with D prime, B prime, D2, but it's a little worse for finger tricks, so I think the net is 0, and I think his cross solution's fine. The next, Tom saw this pair next, which is the easiest pair to see. And he does it like this. Yeah, but I think a better pair to do is this one. This edge, if you look at all of our EOs for our F2L edges, good, bad, bad, good, except this one, you're not going to see this. It's in back left, and it's a solved pair, so it doesn't make sense to do it now anyway. So I think the correct solution would have been doing this pair first, because that's going to save a rotation. Because after Tom has to rotate back, so that's already 2 rotations and 2 pairs to do that pair. And then these last 2 pairs don't really have any issues. He could have, I don't know whether he saw this or it just worked out. He could have done, the best thing to do for finger tricks here is to do lefty 2 gen into the back, but that is going to break this pair, so Tom does the correct thing. Goes like this, and then very standard last layer. He does a different R perm alg than me, but okay, so I'll briefly go through like what my solution would have been on the scramble. Tom did miss a nice X cross here, so if we do L2 F prime L to insert these 2 edges, that edge gets solved. So you can do D prime U prime to match up this pair and put down then put it down to make a square, and then once you do a D2, the X cross is solved. So then after that, I would rotate for this pair, because we have like this EO is good, but the edge is in a really bad spot, so I probably wouldn't go for that. I'd go here, and then I would be looking ahead. I would have seen this flipped edge here, so I would have been looking ahead and knowing that that just made a pair, so I could solve it into the back with this alg. And then I would rotate 2 gen into the back soon and an R perm. Okay, this is the second scramble. Tom is going to get a 929. So his cross solution, I'm going to show something different later, like just an X cross he could have made, but his solution's fine, 6 moves. If you were to predict first pair, the best first pair would be these 2, because it's back left, good edges, just like that. But if you're not predicting first pair, which doesn't seem like Tom is, that is a pretty hard pair to see. So the next post pair, just based off EO, this is the only other pair with a good edge. So this would probably be the next post pair, but it is in the front left, which is kind of tough. So Tom does, I'm assuming the first thing he sees, it's the most obvious pair, is this one. So just right in the back like this. And then here you have all bad edges, bad, bad, bad. So Tom does pick the best pair. He rotates, does this into the back. No points with that solution. And then here, I'm a little conflicted on what to say with this pair, because the way Tom solves it is like that, which is suboptimal. You should do it like this, but he might have noticed that this edge was good and he didn't want to have to rotate again. So doing this either way, I think, is fine, but I would still prefer that into a back or a rotation back, just because it saves moves and is faster. But I guess if you noticed EO, good job. And then here you should have sledged this in to get good edges, because this last edge is oriented, so you know if you sledge this in, you're gonna get a good case, but he just inserts it. And then here I do have a problem. He rotates, You don't need to rotate for this. There's two ways to do this from this angle without a rotation that you could have done. He goes like that, which it does give him like a good case, so it works out. But you can use a commutator like that to get it in, or you can do it from any angle. Or you can go RU, R prime, U2, RU, R prime. Yeah, so but Tom goes like that, and then just OLL, PLL. I think he does back. I think the OLL he actually executed from this angle, but same deal. I will show, I did another X cross on this one. It starts the same way as your solution, just like that. But if you notice, this red sticker is going to end up here, and this red sticker is going to end up here after those first three moves. So you're going to have a free pair. So you can just do a D prime, insert this into the back with a U2, and then cancel into putting that edge in. So it would just look like that. And then from here, you're kind of in a tough spot with like pairs. The best thing to do would be to do this pair. I don't know if I would realistically see this. I might go for this one and rotate, but based off of EOs, you should do this pair. And then I would probably end up just like rotating for this pair, sledge. And then I know from here, these two are adjacent, and this sticker is opposite to this sticker, so I know that I'm gonna have diag corners after I do this alg. And yeah, I get a V firm. Okay, this is the third scramble. This is Tom's best time. He gets 926. So he does cross like this. No problems there. I have an equally long cross solution that is a little better for EO that I'll show later. But Tom then I think does E prime U and then inserts this pair into the back, which is fine. Here, then I think you're left in kind of a tough spot because you have all your edges in the E layer and it's kind of hard to see things. The best pair here is to do a U2 and then a triple sexy into the back, but Tom rotates here, rotates back, does this pair. So that's 3 rotations for a pair. That's kind of bad. And then here, Tom does something. So when you have this pair in a vacuum, it's best like for finger tricks and just being hasty to do a triple sexy into the back. But Tom does keyhole like that. Yeah. But a better solution here in this case, since this edge is solved, if you do a D2, you actually have pseudo F2L -1, and you can just do U2 sledge insert for the pseudo pair. But continuing with Tom's solution, then he does the correct thing here and forces good EO. I would like to comment on his hedge finger tricks. He does like that or something like that. The best finger trick is pinch, pinch like that. And then he just gets an easy ZB that he knew. I'm gonna show a pretty cool like cross that I found. So if you do from this angle, FL D prime, L2 prime, or L2 F prime, L prime D prime, it's also 7 moves just like your cross. But now all of our F2L edges are oriented, which is really good. So from here, you can solve this pair into the back, and then you're gonna wanna do your other back slot, so just keyhole right there. And then here you have a choice. You can either go like this to pair up this pair, or you can go like this, but I would go like this because if you go like this, you get this case, which is trash. So like that, and then you can RU R prime U, sledge for EO, and then I would do a COL into a U prime. All right, I'm really excited to break this one down. Tom got 988 on this, but this, when I was trying this was actually my first 4 in a while. So I can't wait to show my solution. But Tom starts by doing a white X cross. So he does, he starts like that, kind of like rotates up D, R prime, and then he rotates to insert this piece like that. I might say do it with F moves, because then you get front left instead of front right, but it's pretty minor. The other thing, doing it with F moves, it would save rotation here. So all your edges right now are bad, so he rotates, which is fine, and then does this pair. This is the correct pair to do in this scenario, in my opinion. And then here is where I think the biggest problem with the solve is. So the best option is this really easy multi-slot. If you you just start to learn multi-slots from doing a lot of 3x3, and I've been doing 3x3 for years. So this is just one I recognize. If you get this pair and insert it with a sledge, you can get a free pair, which even if you didn't know the exact multi-slot, this is the correct pair solution with the sledge to orient those edges. And then since this edge is oriented, you should be prioritizing this pair over this pair. And then this pair, if you want to do this pair, the correct solution is rotating and solving it 2-gen into the back, because 2-gen is better than the 3-gen solution you did. If you want to, like, the number in front of gen should always be lower if it makes sense too, if that makes sense. So you could have done that, but he rotated over here. And this is the second time I've seen him do this pair 3-gen. This pair you can always do 2-gen, so try to do that. And then he rotated back for that, which is fine. And then OLL, PLL, no complaints there. But I'm really excited to show my solution. I 2-looked F2L on this scramble. Probably one of my smartest solutions ever. And I want to show, because Tom realistically could have found this. Like, he has all the 3x3 knowledge to find this. So first I noticed like this, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make an X cross. So I started like this, and then like this, like for when you have a flipped edge, just like R, wide U prime R thing is really useful. And I know that whatever edge I have here is going to end up here, so I wanted to solve this edge to go with the X cross, so I just did a U before I did R, wide U prime R. And then I also noticed that this piece was solved, so I could just do U, R, or U, L prime, U prime, L to make a double X cross. And then that also solves this piece, so I can do, I have 2 options. I can insert this pair with, I have 3 options. I can do a sledge, which is the best for EO, but it gives a bad pair. Or I could do it like this, but what I planned was doing it like this to make a free pair here. And then D prime, sledge for EO, and then pretty bad OLL, PLL. But yeah, that's a solution that I don't expect Tom to find. Like, I never find solutions like that, but I found it on this scramble, so that just goes to show, like, if you can inspect deep, like, if you can have a deep inspection that's quality, your solves can be really good. And I think, like, even on this solve, I'm not entirely sure whether or not that X cross was fully planned because of the rotation or whatever. So I think inspecting more deeply is going to help you find a lot more cool solutions. Okay, this was the worst solve. This was a 1042 that Tom DNF'd, but he misscrambled, and I cannot figure out where in the scramble he went wrong, so I'm just going to show my solution. So you can do D, L, B, R to put those pieces in. And you can notice that this first L move is going to make a pair, so we want to do something with this pair. And here I have 2 options. Like, I could either try to insert this pair in the back and make an X cross, or I could just do something like that and get a free pair. But in order to just for like fluidity of the solve purposes, I thought it would be easier to just make the X cross. So I inserted this piece with R2, F, R, F prime, R. And I didn't see this, but it did make a free pair, so I went like this. And then I rotated for the free pair, and I have two options. I can insert it with an RU2R prime or like this, and I chose this option because it gives this free pair. So I just rotated back, double inverse sexy, and kind of a mediocre OLL PLL. Okay, so strengths and weaknesses. Tom's a pretty well balanced through-by-3 solver. He's about like, if you said picture a 9-second solver, a 9 to 10 second solver, I would probably picture somebody solving like Tom, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I think he's pretty balanced. I think his turning is quite good. He can spam TPS decently well in like short spurts, which probably comes from his experience maining sprint events. Because I'm the same way and I also main sprint events. I think he has one major weakness and then another weakness that I think, like, if he doesn't improve on now, it'll hurt him because the same weakness hurt me. I think the first thing is pair choice. There's a lot of like wrong pair choices, and I'm guessing Tom just doesn't think about EOs very much during F2L, and I think he should start. I think that's gonna help with pair choices and like generally improving the fluidity of your 3x3 solves. And the other thing is like just inspection and creativity. Like, I don't think, it didn't seem like the first pairs were planned besides maybe that X cross. So I think planning first pair, like, Tom, you won look pyramings, like your inspection skills are good enough, you can plan first pair. Your inspections were also somewhat short, so I think like that tells me maybe you're just not trying to plan first pair. So definitely like give it a go, because you'll surprise yourself with how simple it is. And that'll also allow you to find X crosses. I found an X cross on 2 of these solves and a triple X cross on one of them, and all of them like you totally could have found. So I think those are going to be the 2 biggest things, is just inspection and pair choice. But I definitely think Tom's on the right path, and I think he'll be a good 3x3 solver.